Hi everyone, and welcome to another Sims 4 speed build. So today I'm making a build for Halloween because that is a few days away, and each year I like to do a special build around Halloween time. So this year I'm actually going in a more cutesy direction with the build, because the past couple of years I've done spookier builds. Like last year I made this massive abandoned hospital on a 64 by 64 lot, and this year I didn't really have time to do anything that extravagant or time consuming. And then the year before that I made like a spooky restaurant, and then before that it was like a Halloween store. So yeah, this year I just want to do something a little different than that. So what we were doing is making a pretty much just a basic suburban house, but one that belongs to a family who maybe goes a little over the top with decorating for Halloween. So as you'll see in a little bit, there's just decorations all over the place. Like I used a bunch of the gravestones that we got with vampires, and the decoration, like the gravestone decoration we got with both Spooky Day and Seasons, because there's like because both those packs had like that same graveyard or gravestone decoration, and I used one of them. I can't remember which pack I used it from, but anyway, there's that. And then of course there's lots of pumpkins. Like there's just pumpkins all over the place in this house because we don't really have a whole lot of decorations or Halloween type decoration to go with, so I may have overused pumpkins a little bit, but it's really cute. I like it. And I also decorated the interior for the holiday a little bit. I try not to go too crazy with the interior because I still wanted this build to be usable, like even if you want to use it not for Halloween time, because that doesn't make the build very useful. But yeah, I just added some pumpkins and other kinds of spooky-ish decorations throughout the house on the inside. But yeah, at this point we've got the basic structure of it pretty much done. I built this house in kind of a weird way. Like, I didn't base this house off of a floor plan, but I still built it by putting down rooms first, because I was trying to go for a layout that I've seen a lot in these suburban type homes, because a lot of them have this layout where you go to the front door, and then to one side there's like a formal living area, and then you go back, and then there's a dining room, and then you come through, and then you're into the kitchen, and then you go like through the kitchen, and then you're into like a living room off to the side. Like it's a super common layout, and yeah, I just really wanted to go for a basic suburban look for this house, because it was also because I meant to have this build out before I left for Sims Camp, but unfortunately something came up the week before I left, so I had to put YouTube to the side, so I wasn't able to finish this before leaving. So I was just trying to build this in a very like kind of a comfort zone style, because I just wanted to make something that would have been easy to finish before leaving, but unfortunately that didn't happen. But even though this is my main Halloween build of the year, I am still going to make an abandoned house just because those are fun to make, and this is a good time of year to do that. But that's definitely not going to be up before Halloween, because that's this coming Wednesday, I think. So we're like a half a week away from that, so I'm definitely not going to finish a whole build between now and then, but hopefully sometime in early November I'll be able to have that build up. So it'll just be like a nice bonus Halloween build and something a little less cutesy than that. So I'm looking forward to working on that, because I just always like working on abandoned builds, just because I like going more detailed with like adding a bunch of vines all over the building and adding the spider webs and wall cracks and stuff that we got with vampires, and just making the grass look overgrown. Like it's just a style of building that I find really fun and different than what I usually make. And also I wanted to make an abandoned house for one of my Let's Plays, because I had an idea, so I'm just going to make that, and then when it comes time to use in the series, I'm going to do like a whole renovation thing of it, because it's for my season's Let's Play, but I'm not gonna go into like the whole like why I'm doing that here. I'll talk about that more in like that video. But we are starting the landscaping, so yeah, I just finished the whole landscaping for the front of the house, and then I went back in and added all of the Halloween decorations, and I just had so much fun with this house, because I haven't made something like this before, because again, as I said before, I usually always go with this spooky, creepy look for my Halloween builds. I haven't done just like a cutesy suburban home decorated for Halloween like this, so it was just really fun to make. And another decoration that I added was those wall decals that we got with Seasons, because there was all those different decals that came in swatches for the different holidays. So I found that those work really well when you put them over windows, because they just remind me of what my mom did when I was younger, where she had these. I don't know if any of you, like your parents decorated like this, or if you have decorated like this yourself, but there were those window stickers, like they would come on the like clear plastic sheets, and you would peel them off and stick them on the window, and then you would like, take them off and put them back on the plastic afterwards. Like I always just really loved those when I was younger, and I liked helping put them up. I thought something was so like soothing or satisfying, I guess, about like unpeeling them from the plastic and sticking on the window. I don't know why I find that soothing, but it's just one of those little things. So those stickers that we got from Seasons, I thought would be perfect for placing on windows. Like if you just want to make it look like you've stuck those in your windows. I don't think those are what they're really supposed to be for. Like I think they're just supposed to be for like sticking on your wall, but that was the first thing I thought of when I saw those, like just how perfect they would be as decorations for that. But here we are putting all of the stuff in the yard. So there's that gravestone. Oh, so I think I did use the one from Seasons. And then we got this little ghost from Spooky Stuff, which just looks so cute. I blew one of them up just so there was some variation in the sizes. Like I was trying to use the, the size up and down sheet to change the size of the items just so it felt like I wasn't using a bunch of the same thing. Like it kind of helped with the repetition a bit. Because I just didn't want to make it look like I had a bunch of things that were all the same size, and then I stuck that pumpkin on top of the other pumpkin. But I do realize now that that's probably going to fall down when you download it, because when I was at Sims Camp, I was talking to Simarki about, like, we were just talking about, like, building stuff and, like, building tips and stuff, and she was telling me that if you use the Move Objects sheet to raise stuff up outside, it will fall down unless you put a room under it. So if you do that and you don't want things to fall down, what you have to do is you have to, go put down a room, like just the flooring, and then you can put the grass terrain on it to make it look like it's still like the outdoor grass. So you can use terrain paint on it, but it will prevent things from falling down. I'm not sure if I'm going to go in and fix that though, because I think I stuck some other terrain paint there, so it's just going to mess with that. So unfortunately, or I don't know, maybe before I upload this, I'll just actually get rid of it so it's not even a problem. But yeah, I had no clue that was a thing. Like my mind was blown when I found this out. And then I just thought about all the builds that I made where I've raised stuff up outside and people probably downloaded and everything was just falling to the ground. Like the main one that comes to my mind is that shopping district that I made way back when Get to Work released. So I made that like 3 years ago because I remember I just did all this stuff where I had tables. Like I remember I had like a produce stand in the back of it, and I individually raised up so many fruits and vegetables onto that thing. And there's other tables where I did that too, and I didn't realize that when people downloaded, all that stuff was on the ground. So if you have downloaded that lot or any lots where I did that not knowing that that was an issue, I am really sorry about that. But now I know that that's not an issue, so yeah, I'm really glad that I found that out. Like, it's just a nice piece of knowledge. And like, I just love learning those little building tips like that. But we're onto the backyard now, which is very cramped. Like, we just got this pool crammed into the one side, and then there's a walkway going over to another paved area, which was just, I think, where the grill was, and like some planting boxes. It's been a few weeks since I made this because, like I said, I made this before I left for Sims Camp. Like, I finished the outside of the house, and then I furnished the first floor and a little bit of the second floor before I don't know why I can't speak tonight. I think I'm probably still a little jet lagged, or I don't know if that's an excuse anymore, but yeah, I finished the first floor and then part of the second floor before I left, and then I came back and finished the rest of it. So I don't quite remember every single thing I did before I left. Oh God. But yeah, I've just been, like, since I got back Saturday, I've just been a little out of it. And I've never traveled out of the country before, so I'm not sure if it's normal to still be like jet lagged or off for almost a week, because it's currently Thursday when I'm recording this commentary, and I've just been so tired this whole week. And I guess it's just a mixture of switching time zones and then not getting a whole lot of sleep when I was on the trip, because I had like a few nights on the trip where I got like an hour or two of sleep and I was just going to bed like all over the place. So things just got really screwed up with my sleep schedule. And then since I got back, I've been getting like probably 6 to 7, like mostly around like 7 hours of sleep a night, but I am still just dead tired during the day. And I don't know why. Like, I had a meeting this week, and I full on fell asleep during the meeting, which I was so embarrassed by. Like, I don't think anyone saw me, but like usually I get kind of sleepy during meetings, which I feel bad about, but they're just so boring. But I'm at least usually awake when I need to talk. But I just like pretty much full on fell asleep during the meeting. Like, it wasn't just the usual like micro sleep kind of a thing where you like start to fall asleep and then you snap back awake right away. Like, this was like, I fell asleep for a few minutes and then I woke up and realized my mouth was hanging open in the middle of the meeting and no one said anything and no one looked like they saw me. So I think I'm good. And I looked around, everyone else looked kind of sleepy too. So I don't know. I think we're all kind of in the same boat. But it's weird because I usually don't fall asleep to like that point during a meeting. And like I said, even though I've been getting sleep, like a good amount of sleep, I've just been so tired during the day, like around 4 o'clock. I'm like bedtime tired. I think because that's like 9 o'clock in the UK, and that's kind of like when I usually start to like wind down. I don't know. I think just the whole trip kind of screwed up my sleep schedule. But as I'm getting further into the week, I'm starting to feel better and like more back to normal. Cause yeah, I can't remember if I said this yet. Like most of you probably know this, but Sims Camp was in London, so that was like a 5-hour time difference from where I normally live. And I just want to say, like, it was an amazing experience, and I was really like, seriously, I never expected that I would get sent to Sims Camp. Like, it was one of those things where like, oh, I was like, oh, it'd be cool to get to go, but like I didn't think I would be invited because there's like so many people who deserve to go, but I was just absolutely shocked when I got the invitation to go to Sims Camp, and I'm so thankful that I got the opportunity. And I would love to have the opportunity to go again someday, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen because just because you are invited once, that's not a guarantee that you'll get invited again, but at least I was able to go once and have this experience. And if any of you ever get invited to Sims Camp, then definitely do it, because when I got my invitation, I feel like the reaction should have been, like, you would think the reaction would be just sheer excitement and like 100% like, I am gonna do this, but I actually got really nervous and really anxious when I got the invitation. I think just because it was a bit to process, because I got it, it's like, oh, if I accept this, I'm going to be going to London in a month and a half. I've never been out of the country before. I'm going to have to like get a passport and do all this stuff to prepare for it. And then like, what if I go and people don't like me and I can't handle it? So for me, it was just a lot to take in. And there was a small part of me that was like, maybe I just shouldn't do it. Like, I don't know if I can handle it, but I'm glad I didn't listen to my fear and I did it, because it was just one of the best weeks that I've ever had in my life and was a truly amazing experience. And I'm glad that I got to meet everyone. Like, I got to meet people who I've been watching for years and make new friends. And I just, like, it happened, but I still can't believe that it happened in a way. It was just surreal, and everyone was so friendly. I don't know why, like, I was just worried that, like, no one would talk to me. Like, I don't know why I thought that, but like, everyone was just so nice, and I pushed myself to try to talk to as many different people as I could, and I was just so glad that everyone would like give hugs when they first met you and would just like be so happy to talk to each other. Like, it was just really heartwarming to see that. And I was also worried that it would feel, like it would be awkward when I met people, but it wasn't at all. Like, once you got started talking to people, it's like, oh, like, these are just friends who I've known for years. Like, I feel like everyone just clicked with each other so easily. Like, it was just wonderful. And I actually got to stay in London for about a week, because the actual event was last Tuesday and Wednesday, but those of us who were international were flown in a day early just to get over jet lag, because that's a whole thing, and most of us were flown in on red-eye flights. And I don't know about you, but like, I cannot sleep on a plane, so I'm just really glad I had that day. Otherwise, I would have been dead tired for the event, because I did not sleep at all on the plane. It doesn't help that this was only my second time flying, because the last time I flew on a plane was going to Disney World with my family when I was like 15. So yeah, this was just my first time flying on my own, second time ever flying, and it was all the way to London. So that was an experience. And after that, like, I'm actually, like, I was nervous about flying before, but now I'm actually not nervous about flying at all. Like, it's kind of fun. Like, when the plane took off the first time, I was like really nervous about it, and then when the plane took off on the way back, I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, this is fun. I was like looking out the window and stuff like that. So that was another really cool part of it. But yeah, I got in a day early before the event, and then the Tuesday was just kind of like a party where everyone could talk to each other and get to know each other a little bit better. And then Wednesday was the content capture day, so that's when we got like 4 hours each to capture content, and that was a little more high pressure than I was expecting. I don't know, I was just like freaking out, because as I talked about in the speed build I put up earlier this week, which was a speed build that I made when I was at Sims Camp, I just freaked out because like my footage got corrupted from the first capture session, and I was worried that I wouldn't get more time and that I would come home without a build or any content to make videos out of, but thankfully that all got resolved and I got enough time to like finish the build and make the world overview, so I was really glad for that. And then I was able to extend the trip because most people were flown out Thursday, but I asked EA or their travel department, whatever, if I could fly back Saturday instead, so I ended up staying in an Airbnb the last couple of nights with a group of people who were at Sims Camp as well. So it was me, Kristen, Marie XO, Spring Sims, Arson Girl Gaming, Avalyn, Simarchy, and Iron Seagull. So that was a really cool experience because like I got to know each of those people even better. So like I could definitely say like all 6 of them are my friends now. So I don't know, that was another really cool part of it. I'm glad that I extended the trip as well because that was just a whole other amazing experience. Because we got to do some more shopping and some more sightseeing. Like I saw Buckingham Palace, I saw the London Eye, I walked by Big Ben, which was of course covered in scaffolding, so I unfortunately couldn't really see it. And then I also checked out the National Gallery, which was pretty neat. That was just like a bunch of paintings and such, but there's some really interesting art in there, and there's some other things that I got to see. And then I have some funny stories of different things that happened throughout the week, but I'll probably tell those in another video or maybe later in this one. It just depends on where my ramblings take me, because I did want to talk about the build again, because as you can see, we're onto the kitchen, so I'm just trying to figure out the wallpaper, and I of course went with the Parenthood wallpaper, which is just my favorite wallpaper used in kitchens, because as I said before, I did make this house in a style that I'm very comfortable with, so I just furnished in my typical like cozy family home style of furnishing, I guess that's what you call it, because I was just really hoping to finish before I left, but that of course did not happen. And oh yeah, I stuck some of those mugs from the by debug category, the debug category, on the counter just because I thought that'd be like a nice little touch to make a room feel a little bit more detailed, just getting some clutter here on this island. And I did stick a pumpkin in here on here as well because as you've probably seen, I've just been sticking some Halloween decorations throughout this house. And another thing I did in this house that I don't normally do is that I stuck tile in the landing area just because I wanted to do at least one thing that was a little different than what I normally do, even though that's not really terribly different. And I have seen houses before where the kitchen and the area right when you walk into the house has the same tile, and like it kind of, like you walk into the house and there's tile in the foyer and then it continues back to the kitchen. Like the last place I lived in was actually like it. Like it had this, or like that, like it had this ugly green tile right as you walked in, and then went back into the kitchen, into the dining room, and then there was wood flooring just in the kitchen, or not just, oh God, I can't talk. Like I'm still just like really, really tired out of it, but yeah, like there was wood in the living room, but other than that, like the whole first floor was just this ugly tile. Because yeah, normally what I do is I just stick wood floor everywhere, like even in the kitchen, but I just wanted to use tile a little bit more with this one. And I also thought it would look cute to hang some spider webs up like near those lights in the kitchen, just to add a little bit more of a spooky Halloween vibe into this house. And hopefully, like if you want to use this house not as a Halloween build, like just a build in general, it should be pretty easy to get it back to normal stats, because you just have to delete everything in the front yard, just take out the decorations. Hopefully that's just not too much of a hassle. I don't know, at some point I might take out the decorations myself and upload a version of it without them. We'll see, I might do that next week. Not a guarantee that'll happen, because I'll probably just forget, because there's so many times where I tell myself I'm going to do something and then I just completely forget about it. So really sorry if you asked me to do something, like upload something, and I've just completely forgotten about it. But we're on to the living room, which is very beige and white, just a very neutral room. Because I was trying to use different couches than what I normally do, because I don't think I've used, because these couches I think came with the base game, and I cannot remember the last time I used these. Like I hardly ever use them, but I was trying to use something other than the cats and dogs couches, because I did use those over in the formal living room, and I just use those so often. Like I think those are my most used couches, just because they have a very cushy look to them. Just like they just look super comfortable. Like I want more couches like that just feel comfy and have lots of pillows on them and feel nice and fluffy, not like the hard like plastic Barbie furniture couches that the base game came with. Like the ones that I have in here aren't too bad, but there's like the other set that definitely doesn't look like it would be very comfortable to sit on. And there aren't any couches like that coming with Get Famous, like I was kind of hoping there would be, but also makes sense that there would be. The fancier furniture that does come with it does I don't know, like it does look pretty detailed and pretty cushy, but it's definitely not that like pillows everywhere, like cozy, lived in kind of a feel. But that makes sense seeing it's like as like a celebrity pack. But the furniture that comes with it is still pretty cool. Like it's not stuff that I'll use that often probably, but it's just really cool. Like it's really well done, looks really good. So I'm looking forward to getting a closer look at that because while I was at Sims Camp, I looked at the stuff I used in the build I made, but there's so much of it that I didn't even touch. And I was watching some other people's videos and I was like noticing all these things that I completely missed. Like there's all the set pieces. I did not look through any of those at all, so I'm looking forward to getting a closer look at those once I get the pack. There's also the whole more mid-century modern set of items that I did not even look at because I just completely ignored all of that because when I was building, I was just trying to get the build done as quickly as I could. So I was just picking things out without looking too closely at them. So I'm just looking forward to building something where I can take more, take my time a little bit more with using those items. And I'm also really excited to have the terrain tools because I've just been coming up with so many ideas for how I could use those. And yeah, it was just really fun getting to try those out while I was there. And yeah, the patch that's going to be coming out is going to be a pretty big one too because we're going to have the terrain tools. I think the fashion or the style influencer career is coming with that. There's also some, I think some people made videos on it, but it's not terribly exciting like you've been playing the game, but they also made this whole tutorial mode. Like they changed some things with that, but that mainly applies if you're new to the game, like if you haven't played the game before. But I think there's a little bit more to the interface than just like the tutorial. I'm not sure. I didn't really get a look at that too much. And then I think there's some other stuff coming with this patch as well. Oh, and here I decided to add in a skylight to the roof just to make it look a little bit more exciting. And I wanted to put put the fan that we got with that one patch in here, but of course if I just stuck it in, then it would look like it was floating. So I just took that, like the lower divider fencing, and just stuck that across to make it look like the ceiling fan was hanging from that. And then apart from that, we just got these couches. They came with seats in here, so just kind of like a nice outdoor seating area. I'm not sure how useful it is for gameplay, but if you wanted to make it something that's useful for more than just a place for your Sims to sit, then you could always like get the flower arranging station and stick it in here, or I don't know, just like whatever miscellaneous skill building items you want. Because yeah, there's definitely ways you can make this room a little bit more useful. And then I thought about sticking this this table or the centerpiece in here, but I ended up just going with the flower because I wasn't really happy with how it looked. But we still got a pumpkin out here to go with the whole Halloween look. And I think for that one I ended up using like one of the carved pumpkins instead of that decoration that I was just using elsewhere in the house because I was worrying that I was using that a little too much because I just kept sticking that pumpkin just everywhere in the house. Although in the upper level of it, I didn't put any decorations. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I didn't put any up there. Or maybe I put something in the landing area, but that area of it I just wanted to keep a little more free of decorations because like I don't think most people decorate like their bedrooms for Halloween, or no, probably some people do. But yeah, I just didn't really feel like bothering with that for this build. But in the garage, we have a laundry area because I wasn't really sure where else to put the laundry area, so I thought this would be a good way to make the garage space a little bit more useful. Then apart from that, I don't think we got much else that's useful. I think, oh yeah, I put that decoration bin out here. So I just did my standard putting the decoration bin and then just sticking a whole bunch of decorations on top of a thing because I just love doing that with garages. And we got the litter box out here, so that's another thing that's useful for the house because I just really don't like having rooms that are completely useless because I've been adding more fake garages to my builds recently, but I still like them to be something that's actually useful. So this is just kind of my way of making it something that's functional. Although this time I didn't put any Halloween decorations on it because of course the Halloween decorations are already out in the yard, so I did keep one of the shelves empty because I imagine that that's where they would put all those decorations back once they're done with them. Although there's not enough room on the shelf to reasonably fit that because there's like 50 pumpkins in the house and like 50 gravestones, but whatever, that's what I was going for. And also, in case you were wondering what I did for the garage door, I did use the dividers that came with dine out and then I overlapped them because I have used those before, but usually I just kind of like stick them by themselves. But this time I remembered that I could overlap them and it would actually make it look like a solid door because if you just place them individually, of course, you have the slats, so there's kind of just space between them, and that doesn't really look realistically like a garage door, but overlapping them actually makes them look pretty realistic. So I love doing that, and that's just my favorite way to fake a garage door. I just like it more than doing the whole putting siding on it thing or using that fake door that came with City Living, because that one I find usually doesn't fit in with suburban homes like this. For some builds it does, like more modern ones you can use it. And also, so I talked about this in that build that I put up on Monday, but when you use the terrain tools, you can raise it up so it makes it so the garage is level with the ground. So when you're doing fake garages on a home that has a foundation, you don't have to deal with like what to do with the foundation under it, because the problem I always had with doing the like using the siding thing is that you still have the foundation under it. So it just kind of breaks the realism of it. But thankfully with the terrain tools, you can just pull the ground up. Right, you can make it so that part of the house is ground level and then you don't even have to worry about the foundation at all. So that is going to be so handy. Like, it is going to be hard building without terrain tools until we get the patch, which is coming out, I don't know, like probably, I think they're shooting for like October 13th. Because usually it comes out like right before expansion packs come out. And Get Famous is coming out the 16th, so I'm thinking it's going to come out like the Tuesday or Thursday before that. So we've got like 3 weeks without it. So yeah, definitely gonna be really like definitely gonna be hard to build without having that in the game. But I definitely want to try to get another build or two before that comes out. But now we're starting in the bedroom. So this one is supposed to be a teen bedroom. And I picked a wallpaper that didn't exactly match the rest of the furniture because I was imagining that they, you know, like this was how the room had been for years, like maybe when the Sim was a child and their parents didn't want to like repaint the wall for them because they're no longer happy with it, so they just kind of ended up covering the wall with posters to try to hide it. Like, this is a thing I've done before, and I just really like that look, and I was kind of struggling a little bit with trying to figure out where to go with this bedroom, so I decided to do that to make it a little bit easier. I think that's also realistic because, you know, people, you know, like parents don't always want to repaint the walls every time their child decides that they're no longer happy with the look of their room. And beds and wallpapers usually don't match anyway, so yeah, I think this works pretty well. But yeah, since Halloween is coming up, what are you all doing? Like, do any of you have any exciting plans? Well, I guess like this weekend is probably when a lot of Halloween parties are going on since it is the weekend for Halloween. So yeah, are any of you like going to any parties, or are you trick-or-treating, or doing any other exciting events? Because for me, like, I thought I wasn't gonna be doing anything. Like none of my friends have said anything about having a Halloween party, and then I'm not really able to host one because I'm actually going to a wedding. Like, the day this is going up, I'm gonna be going to a wedding. So I just figured nothing was gonna happen, wasn't really gonna celebrate Halloween. But then right before I went to go record this commentary, I saw that one of my friends decided to throw a Halloween party the weekend after Halloween. So yeah, I'm glad, because I mean, I'm not really like the most into Halloween, but it's still just an excuse to, you know, dress up in costumes and have some fun. So I'm all for that. So I'm glad that something's still gonna be going on. And then I'm probably gonna be handing out candy on Halloween. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get very many trick-or-treaters where I live now, because where I lived before was in the middle of like a suburb, like a, you know, like a neighborhood where houses are clustered really close together. So usually I would get lots of kids coming by, but where I live now, it's not so much like that. That's not the case so much. So we'll probably just get a few kids here and there walking around. I'm not sure if it's even worth it to buy candy, but we'll see. Like, this will definitely be, like, this is my first year living in this house. It'll definitely be a test to kind of see how things are in this neighborhood. Like, I know there's lots of kids around, so I'd imagine we are going to be trick-or-treaters, but it's definitely not going to be in those, like, suburban neighborhoods with the houses clustered together. But here we're onto the toddler bedroom, which is very cute. And I'm wishing I had more space in the backyard for putting playground equipment like the slide and a swing set and all of that. But yeah, unfortunately there wasn't a whole lot space on this. But I think that's kind of realistic because, like, you know, when you have the suburban homes, they tend to have very tiny backyards. But this room did end up being very blue. And I'm kind of wishing I kept the frog rug that I had there, because for some reason when I was building this I wasn't feeling it. But looking back on it, I'm just realizing that maybe it looks a little bit better. But yeah, that's just one of those things where I look back on a build and then realize I maybe should have done some things differently. But I don't know, that always happens. But now we're on to the master bedroom, and it took me a bit to figure out what bed I wanted to use. So I had this one from City Living at first, but then wasn't really feeling it, so I decided to go with the cats and dogs one, to go with a little bit more of a cozy traditional look. And then I was going to try to use this wallpaper, but I don't know, I wasn't really feeling how it looked in here. And did I use this downstairs in the dining room? I don't think I did. I was going to use this in the dining room at first, but ended up not using it there as well. Oh, and I just remembered what the other big thing we're going to be getting with the November patch is. So we're also going to be able to make our Sims self-employed, which I'm really excited about because that means that if you have a Sim who's like running a vet clinic or just doing something else along those lines, you can actually make it so they have a job technically. So that's going to be good for like if you have an ambitious Sim who's running a vet clinic or owns a store, because then you could still have them in a job. Although I don't know if you can like get promotions or anything like that with that. I don't think you can. Like, it wouldn't really make sense if you could. I'm not sure. So I don't know. Maybe that won't really help the issues with ambitious Sims like not being happy because they don't get promotions. But I don't know. Maybe they took that into account somehow. But basically what you can do is you just call, and there's like an option when you call to I think it was like a separate option than find a job. And then once that pops up, then you're able to type in your own title, and then you can type in a little description. So it's kind of cool that you can choose like more specifically what you want your Sim to be, because in The Sims 3 you had specific things that you would register as, like you would register as a gardener or a painter or a jockey or something like that. Because I think, no, was being a jockey a career, or was it a self-employment thing? I don't really even remember. Oh no, I think the self-employment thing in Sims 3 is very different because I think you actually had levels. I'm a little rusty on that because it's been a very long time since I used it. But yeah, I think that's why you specifically had to choose things in that one. But in this game, you just kind of like type in what your Sim is and a description. I unfortunately did get a chance to look at it, but I know that it is a thing that's coming with the patch. So that's another like really cool thing. So yeah, there's just so much coming with this patch that we're going to be getting in November. And now we're on to the last room of the house, which is the kids' bedroom. And this one ends up being a very orange room. So we got some oranges and blues on the bed, and then just oranges elsewhere, not terribly exciting. And I think I kept this wallpaper. I don't really remember. Yeah, I think I actually used this wallpaper in here. I don't know why I'm blinking so much on what I used, but yeah, it looks like it did keep this. And then just got some posters and just other exciting stuff. Yeah, I don't really have a whole lot to say about the furnishing of this room, so I'm just gonna go ahead and leave off soon. So if you do want to download this, there will be a link to do so in the description. There will be other stuff in there on how to find it in game. And that's gonna be all for me, so I hope you enjoy the rest of the video.